Hi there, this is Alan Bach, and I just want to welcome you to our Smarty training program. What we're going to try to accomplish through this video is breaking our roping down and showing you how through different drills with our program we make practical application to a live run. Well, step one of our program obviously is getting in position. Like for me, I've always understood my roping as position, swing, timing, delivery. So I start off everybody with this foundation. I build their foundation from showing them we want to stay to the left of the pipes, which is what I call lane 2, where our swing is centered over the tailhead of the steer or the pipes, and really get used to that distance where you like to rope from the best. Okay, so for me, step one, and I do this at every roping school. I've done this for 35 years, teaching people which back in the day was my sawhorse. It was made out of wood, but now we have pipes, and I've made wider legs that are a little bit larger target to rope at, which you get really good coverage. There's a little bit of insurance. Then you can rope these legs. You can definitely rope the easy hounds where the legs are together, but them are nice wide legs, which produces a bigger target. Okay, on step one, we're basically just establishing the position that you like to rope from the best. Some people like to be a little bit closer where they have to break their tip in a little bit more, some a little bit further back where they bend at the waist a little bit. Ideally, I think everybody should probably get in the position to where they don't have to lean over too much or break the tip of the rope in, and simply just extend their arm. And that's what I'm demonstrating right here on this video, is I'm just far enough back that I don't have to break my tip too much, and I can just extend my arm. What you're seeing me get to practice right here is my swing and my delivery. And the swing has a lot of things: the speed of your swing, the angle of your swing, how open your swing is or tight your swing is. I can practice so much by simply just standing in lane 2 to the left of it and practicing that real level swing over the back. I try to swing low and level. Even the breakover of your swing where the tip is actually turning over, your bottom is actually turning over, the top should be right over the tailhead. So that just brings the focus of your loop right over your target. It's just centered right exactly at 12 o'clock over your target area. And that makes it so easy just to come down and throw a really nice precision loop every time. Like when I throw a nice loop, I consider that a bullseye. I try to hit the center of the loop every single time. And you're going to see over and over in these videos where I teach people, like my students, I teach them to hesitate. Once they release their loop, I want them to hesitate and learn to wait on that tip to come all the way through before they change the position of their hand into their slack. Because that trained hesitation, when you're out there on a live steer, you'll start realizing that you're giving your loop more time to get through there, and you're not always sitting down and turning your hand over too early. It's important to emphasize certain parts of the live run, and that's why we rope the pipes so much, is to perfect our release. And when I say release, meaning hanging on to that bottom strand all the way until your arm fully extends. If you let go a little bit before your arm is fully extended, you will shoot your bottom all the way through. And a lot of people struggle with that. So we're going to try to get you some really good shots of watching how I'm hanging on to my bottom strand with my fingers all the way until I release it. Then I keep my hand in my delivery position. Then I roll it over and start to pick my slack up. On step 2, we're basically just repeating step one, other than we don't have a corner that we're thinking about yet. We're just back about 30 feet. We're walking right into our position. So I really like doing this a lot because it helps people learn that their hands and feet work together. So if you keep riding your horse past your spot, you're always going to be too close. And that's what I find is one of the biggest mistakes healers make, is they come in too hot to their shot, or they keep riding their horse too long, where by doing this you're practicing walking up to your spot, and then you stop walking, and pretty soon you'll get more and more confident that you're going to walk right into that spot where it's the easiest place for you to rope from. If you don't know that spot really, really good, how's our horse going to know that spot? And then it saves a lot of frustration. You can better, more properly train your horse to go to his spot and learn that spot, because you've been doing this on the pipes. You're walking up to your spot. You're not over walking where you're too close. You're not creeping up there. You're just walking confidently to your spot over and over. And you're also practicing the perception of your distance. A lot of times our perception of our distance is a little bit funny when we get on the horse. Some people think they're close enough and they're still 3 foot too far back, or they're on top of the steer and they feel like that's good. I just have to constantly help people with their distance perception. So step 2 really helps you to get confident of where to ride your horse to. Notice while I'm doing this, I'm trying to maintain my body posture to where I don't do anything but keep my body posture still, and it's only my arm moving. I'm just walking up there, maintaining good body posture with my shoulder back in a powerful position. Then I just get to my spot, stop, take a couple swings, and I go into my delivery, wait on that tip to come around, and then roll my hand over. Okay, now in step 3, I created this little drill on the pipes so that I could show people how the angle of their swing is so important as we transition into the steer. How it starts off steep and quite a bit of angle. The tip is always pointed over the back, but then when I come in there, my angle levels out, and it ends up just being just like step 1 and 2, where it's just a nice level angle, and then I go right into my delivery out of that last swing, which is nice and level. Never before did I ever see anybody practice coming into the pipes as if they're riding the corner and practicing that swing and controlling that angle. The other thing I did here, and what these barrels represent, showing you how high that you have to ride your horse and still hit lane 2. Now obviously if I'd have put those barrels a leap further, like one more barrel, you would have ended up in lane 1, which is straight behind the pipes or straight behind the steer, and we don't want that. The more we can hit lane 2, the better. Like I would say the healers that rope right now, Jade Corkle is one of the best I've ever seen, or Paul Eves at coming in and hitting lane 2 consistently and setting themselves up for a really easy shot. So as you can see, these barrels represent, if I walk around that last barrel, it's keeping me from cutting the corner and ending up in lane 3, and it just makes that nice gradual arc, which represents my horse's stride never breaking, never creating a dead spot for him. It always wants to be where there's forward momentum coming through at all times. Like I should be able to just constantly walk forward into my shot and then just go ahead and set it down and place my loop. But there should never be a dead spot as you're coming around and through the corner. Another thing that I was sharing with a friend of mine the other day is that if I ever lose vision of both feet at the same time, then I'm not in very good position. But as you can see me coming around here, I can see both feet clearly all the time. When you're in lane 1, you have to look around your horse's head to see that left leg, and you don't want that. You want to ride as high as you can, but still hit lane 2 and never lose any momentum on your horse's stride, because your horse's stride helps you to also, it dictates your swing a lot. So if we can keep our horse moving into our shot, it helps us keep that energy in our swing, and it keeps us connected to our horse really well. When you ride bad position, it helps you to create a dead spot in your horse's position, which will make you slow your rope down, and it affects your everything. It affects your posture, your swing, your delivery. Riding good position just makes it so easy. So right here, to make it double clear for everybody, these barrels are just to help you to realize your pocket, which is the distance that you are wide going down the arena. I set those purple buckets up exactly 10 foot, and that's what it's ballpark 10 foot. I mean, you can't hold me to that. It might be 9 or 11 foot sometimes, but it's pretty close to 10 foot is that pocket we're trying to hold as we ride down the arena. And at this point, I'm trying to get my angle and my tip pointed right over my target area. And again, the blue buckets, the reason I put them in that position right there is if you walk around that third bucket right there, it's going to put you right in lane 2. But if I move those buckets forward, obviously, then you'd end up in lane 1. Or if I would have moved them to the left, then you could see me come right in, cut the corner. And then that's what people do when they ride their horse too far back, especially if he's a cowie horse, you're going to end up cutting the corner and ending up in lane 3. So you have to ride those horses that are radier a little bit higher so that you can end up in lane 2. On the other hand, to ride a colt higher, you're going to almost always have him hitting lane 1 or running by the corner. So this just gives you a good mental picture of about where to ride your horse and how to ride forward and into lane 2. A lot of the people nowadays are thinking they need to ride really high and then back out and into lane 2. And I never like my horse going in reverse, so to speak. I want him to always be with that constant forward momentum moving up and in to my shot, because my timing a lot comes from my horse's stride. That same stride coming into my steer keeps me and my swing in together with my horse. When you disengage from your horse, you don't ride your horse very well, and on the other hand, you don't keep your swing solid and the speed on your rope like you need to. So simply riding bad position can mess up the way you're swinging your rope and your speed on your rope. But if you get this down, what I'm showing you right here, riding this corner, when you set yourself up to ride this corner good and into lane 2, you're never losing any rhythm with your horse's stride. You're just staying completely with your horse all the way into your delivery. So watch this a few times and see if you can't imagine yourself riding on a live run, riding up around that area where that blue bucket is, that number 1 bucket. I have to go ride up and around that to end up in lane 2. So watch that a few times and see if that doesn't bring some real clarity to your position down the arena. Okay, so right here you have the practical application of our drills. These drills aren't worth anything if they don't make practical application to rope and live cattle. So as you can see, I rode just high enough that I wouldn't cut the corner, and I hit lane 2 pretty clean right here. You can see how my horse never ever lost his stride. He kept his stride with the steer's stride, and I was with my horse, which makes it really easy for me to go all the way into my delivery and my slack and my dally. All right, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you're starting to get an idea of how I'm trying to emphasize a practice program for each and every one of you. I had a practice program my whole life. That's what Smarty training actually is. It's me taking my practice program, and when I do these clinics, I just take them from the ground to the Smarty to the extreme and to live cattle, and I just try to teach people with all these drills how they can make practical application into a live run. So I hope you enjoyed this and got a lot out of it.